What if I told you that right now, today, the fast food you ate is already changing the bacteria living inside your gut, and some of that change might not be reversible? Sounds dramatic, right? But stick with me for the next 30 minutes, because I'm going to take you on a journey, minute by minute, hour by hour, inside your own stomach, and show you exactly what happens from the second that burger touches your tongue to days later when your body is still trying to recover. By the end of this video, you'll never look at a drive-thru the same way again. Let's be honest for a second. Fast food isn't just food anymore, it's part of our lifestyle. It's the quick lunch between meetings, the late-night drive home after a long shift, the easy dinner when you're too tired to cook, the treat after a hard week. For millions of people across the United States, fast food isn't an occasional indulgence, it's a routine. And there's nothing wrong with you for that. Our entire modern world is built around convenience. But here's the thing, nobody really tells you. Every single time you eat that meal, your body goes through a hidden invisible process, a chain reaction inside your stomach and gut that most of us never think about. We feel full, we feel satisfied, sometimes we even feel happy thanks to all that salt, fat, and sugar working on our brain's reward system. But underneath that feeling of satisfaction, something else is happening. Something quieter. Something that, over time, adds up. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that hidden world, so let's start right at the beginning. The moment you take that first bite, your stomach is basically a muscular bag, and inside it, there's a powerful acid, strong enough that if it touched your skin, it would actually cause a burn. This acid's job is to break down food and kill off any harmful bacteria that might have hitched a ride on your meal. Now, when you eat a normal, balanced meal, your stomach produces a manageable amount of this acid, and digestion moves along fairly smoothly. But fast food is different. It's usually loaded with fat, and fat takes much longer to digest than other nutrients. So what happens? Your stomach has to work overtime. It produces more acid. It holds onto that food longer, sometimes for hours, just trying to break it all down. That heavy, weighed-down feeling you get after a big fast food meal, that's not just feeling full, that's your stomach saying, okay, this is going to take a while. And here's something most people don't realize. This extended digestion time isn't just uncomfortable. It actually creates the perfect conditions for some of the problems we're going to talk about next. Now, here's the part of this story that I think is the most important, and also the part almost nobody talks about. Inside your gut, right now, there are trillions, with a T, trillions, of bacteria living there. And I know that might sound gross, but stay with me because these bacteria are actually one of the most important parts of your entire health system. They help you digest food. They help you absorb nutrients. They help regulate your immune system. They even play a role in your mood and your mental health because a huge portion of your body's serotonin, the chemical linked to feeling happy and calm, is actually produced in your gut, not your brain. Think about that for a second. Your gut and your brain are in constant communication. Scientists actually call this the gut-brain axis. So what does fast food do to this delicate ecosystem? Fast food tends to be very low in fiber, and fiber is basically food for your good gut bacteria. When the good bacteria don't get fed properly, they start to decline. At the same time, the high amounts of sugar, unhealthy fats, and preservatives in fast food can actually feed the less beneficial bacteria, the ones that are linked to inflammation and digestive issues. Over time, this creates something called a microbiome imbalance, where the bad guys start to outnumber the good guys. And here's the scary part. This imbalance has been linked in research to everything from digestive problems to weakened immunity to even mood changes like anxiety and low energy. So when someone says, trust your gut, there might be more truth to that than we ever realized. Let's talk about something almost everyone has felt at some point. That tight, swollen, uncomfortable feeling after a fast food meal. You know, the one where your stomach feels like it's pushing against your waistband and you just want to lie down. That's bloating, and it's incredibly common with fast food, for a few specific reasons. First, sodium. A single fast food meal can sometimes contain more than half, sometimes even close to your entire recommended daily intake of sodium. And when your body takes in that much salt at once, it responds by holding on to water, which causes that puffy, swollen feeling. Second, fast food meals are often eaten quickly, which means you're swallowing more air than usual, and combined with carbonated drinks, that's extra gas building up in your digestive tract. And third, remember that slow digestion we talked about earlier. When food sits in your stomach and intestines longer than it should, it can ferment slightly, producing even more gas. Now layer on top of this the inflammation piece. When you eat fast food occasionally, your body can handle the temporary inflammatory response it's designed to, but when fast food becomes a regular part of your week, that inflammation doesn't fully go away between meals. It becomes low-grade, chronic, constant. And chronic inflammation has been linked by researchers to a long list of health concerns, including digestive disorders, joint pain, and even heart-related issues. The truly unsettling part: this kind of inflammation often doesn't come with obvious symptoms right away. It builds quietly, in the background, sometimes for years before you notice anything is wrong. So let's fast forward. What happens after months or years of this pattern repeating over and over? Your stomach has a protective lining, a layer of mucus that shields it from the acid it produces. But when that lining is constantly exposed to excess acid, irritation, and inflammation, it can start to weaken. When that happens, it can lead to a condition called gastritis, which is basically inflammation of the stomach lining. People with gastritis often describe a burning or gnawing pain in their upper stomach, nausea, and a feeling of fullness even after eating very little. Then there's IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome, where the gut becomes overly sensitive and reactive. People with IBS often notice that certain foods, especially fatty, fried, or heavily processed foods, seem to set off their symptoms, things like cramping, bloating, and unpredictable bowel habits. And here's where it gets even bigger picture. Some studies have linked regular fast food consumption to increased risk factors for conditions like type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions including high blood sugar, high blood pressure, and excess body fat around the waist, all of which are deeply connected to gut health and chronic inflammation. This isn't about one bad meal ruining your health. It's about what your body slowly adapts to when this becomes the norm, day after day, without you even realizing it's happening. Now, here's something that genuinely surprises a lot of people when they first hear it. Fast food isn't just greasy or unhealthy in some vague sense. It often contains a long list of additives that most of us have never even heard of, and definitely can't pronounce. Things like preservatives designed to extend shelf life so food can sit for days or weeks without spoiling. Emulsifiers, which keep ingredients from separating, giving sauces and dressings that smooth, consistent texture. And flavor enhancers, designed specifically to make food taste more intensely satisfying than it would naturally, which, by the way, can actually encourage you to eat more than you normally would. Here's the part that's a little unsettling. Some of these ingredients have been studied for their potential effects on the lining of your intestines. Specifically, some research suggests certain additives may make the protective barrier in your gut more permeable than it should be, sometimes referred to as leaky gut. When that barrier becomes too permeable, substances that normally wouldn't enter your bloodstream can slip through, triggering immune responses and contributing to that chronic inflammation we talked about earlier. And the wildest part of all this: every single one of these ingredients is completely legal. They're listed right there on the packaging, in plain sight. Most of us just never stop to read them. Let's shift gears for a moment, because this isn't just about your stomach. It's about how you feel, every single day. Have you ever noticed that after a fast food meal, you get this quick burst of satisfaction, almost like a little high, and then about an hour or two later, you crash? You feel tired, sluggish, maybe even a little irritable or foggy in your thinking. That's not random. That's your blood sugar spiking quickly from all that processed sugar and refined carbs, and then dropping just as fast, leaving you running on empty. And remember that gut-brain connection we talked about. When your gut bacteria are out of balance, and when your body is dealing with constant low-grade inflammation, it can actually affect your energy levels, your mood, even your ability to focus. Some people describe feeling like they're in a constant fog, tired but wired, never quite feeling fully rested or fully energized. And here's the emotional part of this story. A lot of people blame themselves. They think, I'm just lazy, or I just don't have willpower, or something's wrong with me, when really, their body might be responding to a pattern of eating that's quietly draining their energy and affecting their mood, day after day. It's not a character flaw. It's biology. Let's pull all of this together in the simplest way possible. Think of your gut like a garden. In a healthy garden, you've got a balance of helpful plants and helpful insects working together, keeping everything in harmony. Fiber-rich, Whole foods are like water and sunlight for this garden. They help the good stuff thrive. Fast food, on the other hand, is like dumping weed killer and trash into that garden. Occasionally, the garden can bounce back. But if it happens over and over, day after day, the helpful plants start dying off. The weeds take over, and the whole ecosystem becomes unbalanced. That imbalance doesn't just affect digestion, it ripples outward, affecting inflammation throughout your body, your immune system, your energy, even your mood. And here's a fact that puts this into perspective. Some research suggests that the composition of your gut bacteria can start to shift within just a few days of changing your diet in either direction. Which means the changes we're talking about aren't some distant abstract thing that takes decades. Your gut is responding to what you eat, right now, today, this week. So how do you know if your stomach and gut are already feeling the effects of this? There are some signs that people experience regularly, but often brush off as just normal, or just part of getting older. Frequent bloating, especially after meals that didn't even seem that large. Heartburn or acid reflux happening more than 2 or 3 times a week. That sluggish, tired feeling after eating, almost like your body is working hard just to digest. Changes in your bathroom habits, whether that's constipation, diarrhea, or just unpredictability. Skin issues, believe it or not, since gut health and skin health are closely connected. And that persistent, nagging stomach discomfort that seems to come back no matter what you try. If even 1 or 2 of these sound familiar, it doesn't mean something is seriously wrong, but it might be your body's way of waving a little flag saying, hey, something needs to change here. And the encouraging news is, these signals can improve, often faster than people expect, once you start making small adjustments. Now let's talk about the part you've probably been waiting for. What can you actually do about all of this? And I want to be really clear here, this isn't about never eating fast food again or following some extreme restrictive diet that you'll quit in 2 weeks. That's not realistic. And honestly, it's not necessary. What actually makes a difference is small, consistent changes. If you're getting fast food, look for grilled options instead of fried. Most major chains offer them now, and the difference in fat content is significant. Skip the soda, swap it for water or unsweetened tea. This one change alone can cut a massive amount of sugar and sodium from your day. If you're eating fast food for one meal, try to make sure your other meals that day include something with fiber, vegetables, fruits, beans, whole grains, because fiber helps slow digestion, feeds your good gut bacteria, and helps balance out some of the effects of a heavier meal. At home, focus on adding things rather than only restricting. Add a side salad, add some fermented foods like yogurt which contain probiotics that directly support your gut bacteria. Add more water throughout your day since proper hydration supports healthy digestion and helps your body flush out toxins more efficiently. These aren't massive, life-altering changes, they're small additions and small swaps. But here's what's powerful about them. They add up. Your gut responds to patterns, not perfection. So even if 80% of your choices stay the same, shifting that other 20% can create a meaningful difference in how you feel, often within just a couple of weeks. Here's something I want you to sit with for a moment. Your body has been working for you every single day for your entire life. Right now, as you're watching this, your stomach is digesting, your gut bacteria are working, your immune system is on guard, all without you ever having to think about it or tell it what to do. It's been showing up for you, day after day, often without any thanks, often without you even noticing. And the truth is, your body is remarkably resilient. It can handle an occasional fast food meal, a stressful week, a few late nights. That's not what breaks it down. What breaks it down is years of patterns repeating without ever pausing to ask, is this still working for me? But here's the hopeful part of this story. Your gut isn't fixed. It's not permanently damaged by your past choices. It's constantly adapting, constantly responding to what you do today, this week, this month. Which means the story isn't over. In fact, the next chapter starts with whatever choice you make after this video ends. And that's a powerful thing to realize. You don't need to fix your entire life today. You just need to make one choice slightly better than yesterday's, and then do that again tomorrow. If this video opened your eyes even a little bit, if even one part of this made you think, wait, that actually explains a lot, then do something for your future self right now. Hit that subscribe button. Because understanding your body is the first step to taking better care of it, and there's so much more to cover. In our next video, we're going deep into the exact foods and simple daily habits that can help repair and strengthen your gut naturally. Foods that are easy to find, easy to prepare, and don't require you to overhaul your entire life. And if you know someone, a friend, a family member, maybe even yourself a few years ago, who's been struggling with these kinds of symptoms and just chalking it up to getting older or stress, share this video with them. It might be exactly the explanation they've been looking for. Your gut has been taking care of you your whole life. Maybe it's time to start taking care of it back. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.